Are you struggling to stick to your diet, your exercise plan, or your weight loss plan? If you are, maybe you want to try this instead. Hi everybody, my name is Brian Granger. I'm a life coach and weight loss coach. And in this video, I want to offer for you that struggling isn't going to get you where you want. We sometimes think when we go on this journey of transformation, when we're changing our habits from unhealthy, unhelpful ones into healthy new ones, that it has to be hard, it has to be difficult, that it's all about willpower. I see so many of my students, so many of my members, so many people in this community struggling. And I really want you to think about what that's like. If it's true for you, or if it has been true for you in the past, if there are times when that's true, really consider what's struggling all about. It's, in many cases, trying to force yourself to do what you're supposed to do, to stick to it, to be disciplined, to make this choice instead of that choice. It's all very cerebral, it's very effortful, and often it feels hard. When we're trying to do it all with willpower, we often end up what I call white knuckling it. Just trying to grip on tight and be strong enough to make that healthy decision. The trouble is that kind of way of working, that kind of that way of trying to force ourselves into healthy habits and healthy behaviors is counterproductive. It actually requires a lot of willpower, a lot of conscious effort. And often that's exhausting, right? I see so many people trying to do that with every decision throughout their day. They're trying to be good, make the right decision, not get it wrong, not stuff it up, get the right response, get approval. It's a constant struggle and a constant effort to get it right. And often I see people in this mindset then switch into all or nothing thinking. That they can do it for a little while the willpower holds out. They can do it a few times, and yes, that feels great. But of course, because it requires so much cognitive effort, it is draining. Our brain is the most energy using organ in our body. It's where most of our kilojoules actually get burned off, in our brain, with this thinking. It's using a lot of energy. And it seems to me that people are always surprised that then when it runs out, when they're stressed or tired or fed up, when that tank has run dry, suddenly they can't make the healthy decisions, they make the unhealthy decisions. In fact, your brain will naturally default to its existing habits, right? It'll go to what it knows best, what it's done the most. Most of us, those are the unhealthy habits. So it'll default back to there. Nothing's going wrong. Your brain's working perfectly. It's just that you've been trying to exhaust it with the way you've been approaching things. And so I'm hoping that you can see that that kind of sets you up for failure. It sets you up to get in your own way. It's very challenging to make that process work unless you're building in lots of ways to constantly refresh and replenish and rejuvenate your willpower. Now, there are things you can do to do that. Rest, sufficient sleep, staying hydrated, moving more, doing regular movement and exercise and activity throughout the day, practicing loving kindness, thinking kind, compassionate, encouraging thoughts about yourself, filling yourself with your own approval. So filling your own cup with all of these different measures works. Providing good nutrition, give your body the energy it needs. All those things work. But of course, so many of you are saying to me, but that's what I'm trying to do, and that's what I'm trying to white knuckle my way towards. Okay. So what if it doesn't have to be that way? What if white knuckling it? What if just going hard? What if struggling just can never lead you to success? Because it always leads you to burnout. It always leads you to exhaustion. It always leads you to falling back to the old habits, and then you just reinforce those. There is an alternative. The one I wanted to offer for you today in this video was to ask yourself, how can I create more ease? What can I do that's easier? What can I do that doesn't really require a lot of conscious effort? This really is my approach of breaking it down into one small change at a time that you can live with. And small change is the key here. Can we make it easier? Can we make it more fun? Can we make it more interesting? Wendy Wood is a researcher who looks at behavioral habits. She wrote the book Good Habits, Bad Habits. And the subtitle is The Science of Making Positive Changes That Stick. I think that's what it is. Hopefully I got that right, Wendy. In her book, she talks about the idea is struggle is not the answer. It's about streamlining. Taking small, positive changes and automating them, right? And this works most quickly, most easily, most efficiently when these are very small and very easy. Can you take the positive things and rather than trying to do everything right, can you do one small thing? Can you just do the first step? Can you just one piece of it that makes what you are doing better? Can you move in the direction of your goals? Can you do a small improvement? You know, Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi talks about flow. And this idea of getting into a flow state is when we're challenged by being about 1 to 4% outside of our comfort zone. When we're challenging ourselves by 1 to 4%, that's when we get into the flow state. Now, a flow state, of course, is when we're focused, we have focused attention and energy, we're not drained, it often feels effortless because we're just in that state where time just seems to pass and we're just getting it done. It's a beautiful, productive place. But notice that it comes, from his research, 1 to 4% in our difficulty. So I really want you to consider today, if you are struggling, how much of a change you're trying to make. How much are you trying to force yourself to do something? How much of it is coercion or, spending a lot of time in your brain trying to convince yourself to do the thing? I know, I do this from time to time, right? It's like, I have to... I'm trying to convince myself to get up on those cold mornings, to get my mat out and do my yoga or do my exercise, do my body weight exercises in the morning. I used to really have to fight those battles in my mind. But instead, I've been taking Wendy's advice and instead streamlining the process. Just training in the habit of doing a small piece of it repeatedly. And now I just do that workout every morning. It's automated now. Now, I realize that this is what I do with a lot of my eating choices. It's why I'm a big advocate of teaching things like deciding in advance, planning ahead, making decisions ahead of time, prepping meals, planning, so that when it comes to the point of decision, there's actually no decision to be made. There's no need to force, there's no need to struggle, there's no need to coerce, because you've already made the decision. You just automate going with what you've decided ahead of time to go with. Or you decide to go with the thing that makes it easier for you to make that healthy decision. To put your shoes on and go for that walk, to roll out the mat and do the yoga, to put the music on and dance around. To politely decline. Now, will willpower from time to time be required? Yes, but try not to spend it on all of the decisions all of the time. The more decisions we can automate, the less of that willpower is required. This is the interesting thing in the research that Wendy did. It's not that people who are more successful have more self-control. It's often thought of, we have more self-control, we have more willpower. And I often get people asking me that, like, how do you do it? How do you maintain? Isn't it hard? And I'm like, no, it isn't hard at all. In fact, it requires almost no effort from me. And the answer is exactly this, that I've taken the positive habits, I broke them down into just individual pieces, really small steps that felt easy so that I could do them. And then I just kept doing them. I just used the same cue, the same response, right? The same trigger or prompt. I did the same choice in the same environment with the same reaction again and again and again until it became like brushing my teeth. It became like getting dressed. Most of us probably have a routine. We go through making coffee in the morning or making your tea or having a shower. You probably do the same actions in the same way all the time without even thought. It doesn't require willpower. It doesn't require forcing yourself to do anything. It's just automated. And the reason is because each of the little pieces was simple, and you practice them enough times that your brain went, oh, I know how to do this. I can just automate it. I no longer require conscious instruction to do this. I truly and fervently believe the way to long-term healthy habits is exactly the same. Break it down to just take the one small piece, break it down into the little tiny pieces that feel easy, and then practice them enough until they become automated. And as you do that, you can start chaining them together. You can start building momentum. You build habits on top of each other. You can fill out. And that adds up over time, yes, over time, to becoming a way of life, to just what you do and how you do it, instead of something you have to force yourself to do all the time. Now, some people will resist this approach because that means, oh, if I'm not changing everything, I'm not getting my results straight away. And there's such a trap in that, right? If you switch your focus onto the result, right? I need to get that weight loss, or I need to be able to fit in that outfit, I need to look good in that photo, and I'm a failure until I get there, right? Then you're in this place of having to change everything. And for many of us, we've automated a great many unhealthy, unhelpful habits that got us here. Now, you probably didn't have to force yourself to do them. Each little piece of it was easy, so you just did it again and again, and suddenly it's just what you do. It's how you respond. So I invite you today to go, okay, what if I didn't focus just on the result, just on the weight on the scales, just on whether I fit in the dress, just whether I can run that 10K, whatever it is, how much I puff going up the stairs, and bring it back to, what is one thing I could do, one small change? Now, we talked about this all in the last video, minimum viable change. That's number 105. It was last week's video here in the Weight Loss for Life community. One small change at a time. And how do I make it easier? Right? How can I make it easier for myself so that I don't need so much willpower? What gift can I give myself to take that pressure off? You know, it's ironic that so many of us want to make these transformations. We want to get healthier, we want to eat better, we want to move more, so that we can have more peace, we can have more joy, we can have more self-esteem, self-confidence in the world. We can feel better about ourselves, and we can actually live more of our life. And the path to do that is to apply it to the micro actions. How do I have more peace around this decision? How do I make this decision easier for myself? How can I take the willpower out of the equation? How we do one thing is kind of how we do everything. So that's the advice I have for you today. And I really want you to think about it. Are you trying to force yourself? Are you trying to struggle your way to success? Are you trying to white knuckle your way to health? If you are, look back on your life and say, how long have I been trying that? And how well is it working out? Yes, maybe sometimes it works a little way for a short time. It's not sustainable. So, can I give another way a go? Can I make it smaller? What if I really could? What if I really could? What if I gave up the need to get everything right, to do everything perfectly, to change all my habits at once? What if I just picked one that's leading me away from my goals and instead go, how could I change that direction? How could I move it towards where I want to go? Or what new healthy habit can I bring in a very small, in a very easy way that I can just start with? Where can I start? How do I make it easy? How can I make it more relaxed? Just experiment with that. See how much more you do it. See if you can keep it up for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Can you do it 100 times? It's very interesting, depending on the complexity of the behavior, which is why I like smaller behaviors. More complex behaviors take more time, take greater repetition, because there's more steps involved. When you bring it down to just one step, just one piece of it, if it really is easy, often you'll be surprised at how quickly. It doesn't take very many repetitions to actually get there. You really can do the small piece of it in a few days, a few weeks, a few dozen repetitions. So consider, if I do that, yes, I give up the immediate result of getting everything right? What if you put aside the need to have to feel good about yourself to have everything right, and just say, I'm going to feel good about myself if I can make this one thing a little bit better, if I can improve it by 1 to 4%. Then you just keep doing that. What happens is that over those couple of weeks, you start to build that habit. It becomes second nature. You just start to do it automatically. Now your brain doesn't have to think about it. Then it's got space to do the next one and the next one. We put these weeks, like days, weeks, months, together, and all of a sudden you've changed your life. You just no longer operate the way you were. And none of it was hard. None of it required very much willpower. There wasn't any white knuckling. And there's no exhaustion in it. There's a peace and an ease. I gotta tell you, from the other side, that's so much more fun. I really do genuinely, honestly believe that this is how I've not only lost my 50 kilos, but how I've maintained them. Because I just do what I've done in my losing method. It's just how I live now. I've taken all of these things. I actually took the unhealthy habits, I broke them down, I decided which healthy habits I wanted to bring in, and I built them up one small piece, one small change, one small improvement at a time. So it's stuck. It's just what I do. It's just how I live. And I want that for you. So today, maybe in the comments, let me know if you've been struggling, what you've been struggling with, where have you been trying to white knuckle it? And perhaps just pick one area and go, how could I make this easier? If you're not sure, post in the comments, post in the community. If you're not a member of my Weight Loss for Life community, come and join us on Facebook. And then share. And we can give you some hints and tips and ideas about maybe some brainstorming about how you can make it easier. All right, one small change is all it takes. So, stop struggling, start streamlining. Give up white knuckling your way to success. Make one small, easy improvement at a time. It's magical the way it actually works. You might be surprised at how quickly it adds up. Hope this has been helpful. If you want to find out more about my work, come and visit me at livemorelife.com.au. Reach out to me on Facebook Messenger. And if you'd like to go a bit deeper into getting a roadmap for changing your behaviors, for figuring out what to work on next and how to make it easy, then I always invite you to have a consultation. Get together, let's have a strategy session. Let's find out what your blocks are and come up with a plan for how you can move past them. If you want, we can talk about what it would be like to work together. But for now, how can you make it easier? Let me know. Have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.